Blackout morning without coffee. Yeah. Right, hello. So we're into September. I have left this till the very last day, but I've done a bit more forward planning than before and gone for a recording in the morning. So you might be hearing some funny noises. Just checking my levels. Yeah, they're all good. Just because there's going to be more traffic on the road outside at the moment and the first thing in the morning, although it is a Saturday, so you think it'd be a bit quieter. September's been a bit of a weird month. We've had a mixture of sort of illness and good fortune in the family. It's been a bit of an odd one, but we've had, lots of fun and things done in the same time. So yeah, I'm just going to dive straight into what we've been up to this month. So games-wise, it's been a bit of a weird one. We've played a few new things that have just come in. So we had, top of the list is Chainsomnia. So this is a sort of tile-laying game where you're basically exploring a haunted realm, as it were, trying to make sure that your kids, you play as the children that have been sort of captured into this dream world, and you're exploring this dream world, trying to defeat spirits and things to try and escape, basically, the nightmares that are infesting this little dream world. It was okay. It was slightly marred by the fact that the company that produced the game had all sorts of like weird things going on with like shipping and like complaints and stuff, and they never acknowledged anything. They just kind of, I don't know, it was just weird. It was just very strange. So that left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Played the game. Game was fine. We played it a couple of times, managed to win it on the second go. Then we had a little look through the cards, and there's well, I'm going into spoilers, but basically it was its replay value was basically play the game again and try and do slightly better, trying to pick up these random items that you have to randomize into, basically. So yeah, no, we decided after 2 plays that was enough. Another one we tried but unfortunately didn't get into was Serpent's Tongue. So this is one we picked up back in Essen. It's got to be like 10, 11 years ago. This is before we had kids, so this is a long time ago. Essentially, it's like a Magic the Gathering style kind of card game where you're sort of casting spells at each other, trying to deplete things and stamina and such like. But the sort of twist on the formula is that it's got its own language built in, so you have to pronounce the various spells as you play them, so there'll be like a little translation wheel thing, but that will vary depending on the difficulty of the spell. So the first spell will almost give away how you pronounce the spell straight away, and it'll be like 3 different things, but then as you go later and later on, it will just reveal tiny snippets of like interpretable language that you've got to then figure out what the correct spelling is, and then you've got to turn to your partner and go, and if you get it right, they go looks or something, I can't remember. There's like a language even for like casting the spells and things. So yeah, it wasn't for us. The rulebook's pretty badly written, and the gameplay is just something that we're just not into anymore, as it has been 10 years since we've opened it. So yeah, we're gonna we didn't even get through 1 game of that one before we decided, yeah, this isn't really for us. Other games we played, Spirits of the Rice Paddy. That was actually good fun. That was really enjoyed that one. So that's another tile laying game where you're basically trying to feed these paddies of rice, and then they'll grow, and then you harvest them, but then you've got problems with things like pests and like caterpillars, tiny little cute caterpillar meeples, which was quite fun. Rocks that you've got to kind of bust out of the way. Weeds, you've got to keep weeding your things as well. But you can also like get oxen and geese. You can get geese and oxen to sort of come in and help you do various different tasks as well. The only thing I was stuck on with that one was the timing issues. So like there was a really weird phase thing where like then you've got to let the water in, then the plants will grow, and then the next turn the plants will be harvestable, and you've got to figure that pattern out. Which included how you like flooded the paddies as you went further down, and as you created paddies, you created levels for the paddies. So the first ones would fill up, then the second ones, then the third ones, but you could close off the first ones and let all the water from them drain down into the lower ones. So you can kind of figure out which were the best paddies to keep full and which were the best ones to sort of empty, so you could go in and start planting more rice. Yeah, really good fun. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. What else we got? Hold on a sec. Got his really big motorbike out today because it's Saturday for some reason. Cool. Yeah, Megacity Oceania. So I read the rule book and immediately was thinking, oh no, there's slightly wishy-washy ways about like how structures could fall over, and so this, basically with this one you've got like you've got hex tiles and you build up little pieces on top of them, but the pieces are these sort of random shapes that are kind of stackable. So you're just trying to figure out the best ways to like make them tall, or you've got to cover these little vents that might be on your particular hex tile whilst avoiding the utility bit in the middle. There's lots of little rules about how you build these little structures, but then you push them across the table into this big city, floating city that you're basically creating, and that's where you get some of like the tension, is because you've got to push these structures across, and you may have built this thing ridiculously high in so to try and like appease the highest building spec or some particular quirk of your contract that says you must build it X number of tiles high. I actually really enjoyed it. It was really good fun because you do all the building during other players' turns. So in theory, if you know you're going to build next turn, you're starting to build your little structure while everyone else is taking their turns picking contracts, building stuff. And then when it comes around to your turn, you just slide your building into the thing, score some points, and then scores points at the end for the game. Really good fun. Really, really enjoyed it. I was a bit concerned with the whole stacking thing because the tile pieces seemed, some of them had little seams around them, which would make things, you know, wobbly and difficult to stack. But actually, they were really tidy, really clean. Yeah, really enjoyed that one, so I'd recommend that one, and it's really cheap at the moment actually because I guess they overproduced on it. So yeah, fantastic little game. And then lots and lots of other sort of spooky games as well. So we played Ghostal, which is my own game that I designed with the kids. Kids really enjoyed it, I think. At least I hope so. They like making little spooky woo noises, so it's nice to play an old classic. I did modify it slightly, so if I ever went back and did a version 2, there's a few little tweaks I'd make, and one of the big ones would be to sort of reduce the size of the guest deck by about 5 or 6 cards, just to shorten the game by 1 or 2 rounds, because it's just that little bit too long, I think. We also played Zombie Kids with the kids, although I think that was just my son actually, because he loves it. He really loves his board games. So we play a bit of Zombie Kids, nice easy puzzle game. So it's an abstract essentially where you can only move in certain directions, but we play with like all the zombies with their superpowers, which means they pull people in and push people out of these rooms. Really good fun. City of Zombies, that's an old classic. So that's sort of a maths sort of zombie style game where you roll dice and the zombies have numbers on them, and you have to like match the numbers through mathematical equations. So like 3 times 2 equals 6. Oh, I can take out the 6th zombie, for example. Yeah, good fun. We kind of smashed it because I think we were playing easy mode, and with the kids, their math skills are really picking up, so they just kind of bosh. All done. And then the last one was... oh, I think that's it. Oh, Mechs vs Minions. We managed a random Mechs vs Minions. So we've had Mechs vs Minions since it launched. I'm just looking over it now. Oh gosh, this would have been 6 or 7 years ago, I think, because Poppy was really little. Yeah, so that was, you know, again, great fun. We're starting to slowly get back to the content that me and Gemma got to before we sort of boxed it and put it away for a little bit. So yeah, great fun on that one as well. Okay, so that's all the video game stuff. So let's talk about game design stuff. So game design has been very exciting for me this month. Firstly is Dragon Ranch. So I created a physical version of Dragon Ranch after pitching it. Before pitching it, and then I took that physical version and I play tested it with a few friends of mine at a physical play test. It was crazy, which was really nice because they'd never seen the game before and I was teaching them brand new. And the first thing they said was, well, why are there coins in it? So one of the currencies is coins. You use coins to hire workers to do like the building and the breeding and all that malarkey. And they said, why are you bothering with all that? Why don't you just have the dragons do the actions? And it was like a little light bulb went off, and I went back and rejigged the whole game so that basically dragons do all the work and coins have become like a wild currency or a booster currency that you can use to do like clear rows or do things like that. And it worked really, really well. So we play tested the new version online, and it was absolutely brilliant. So there was a lot more combo play, there was a lot more kind of focusing down on the ranching board, so that was fantastic. So there was a lot less of that, and there's fewer components as well because there's fewer coins. What do you call it? The bit where you can buy ranches now is a little bit more interactive. Instead of it just being 4 tiles and you select one, you've got like a grid of tiles, and you can basically pick a pattern within that grid of tiles. So you can actually pick and choose what... sorry, I keep getting distracted. staticky. You can pick and choose the pattern of the tiles, and then you can place them into your ranch and get your bonuses and such like for building stuff like that. Really, really good. I'm very excited about what to do. We unfortunately got through only 2 rounds, but by the end of round 2, it kind of felt like we were at the end of round 4 if it was a full game. So I think what I need to do is tweak the numbers slightly so you get fewer dragons, so the game is a little bit sort of slowed down. Yeah, and then obviously fix a whole bunch of other little issues that came up from like having too many coins or not enough. Too many dragons, and I had an ability that allowed me to flip dragons back over again when I completed quests. So I completed loads of 1-dot quests and kept flipping this same dragon. This dragon was knackered by the end of it. But yeah, no, really stoked by that one. Then the other one was tinkering around with my Ghost Town card game. Not really sure whether I want to continue with it, if I'm completely honest. There's something a little bit missing, like there's a little quality of it missing. I'm going to keep sort of ploughing away at it, because I think there might be a game in there, but I'm not 100% convinced yet, so we'll have to see how that one goes. Apart from that, I think that's about it. I've not touched my space game since, well, August, I think, beginning of August, so I need to go back and look at that one. And then there's a few other little sort of bits we're trying to dabble with in terms of creating like laser cut games, so something for next year's expo, which, by the way, the exhibitor packs are out, so we're currently getting booked in to do that again. Woohoo! Yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah, I mean, this is the section where now I'd move on to like books or something, but unfortunately I've not read any books. I've proofread 1 book and tried to get through a second, the Star Wars book that I started back in August. Not had much time for reading, so yeah, just sort of thing. And the reason why is right behind me, so I'll introduce you to my new gaming centre. So back in the beginning of September, back in August, I got into a bit of a kick with Zelda games and realised that I'd lost a bunch, got rid of a bunch of them and really wanted to play them again. So rather than go out and just buy all of them at the same time, I thought I'd go back through some of my old retro consoles and things that I've got and sort of fill the gaps with those, and start, repurchasing those things that I didn't have. Luckily, the retro gaming market hasn't quite exploded yet. I mean, it's still getting more and more expensive as we go, but I've been able to pick up a few little bargain pieces, so I'll probably take you for a little tour around here if that's okay. So what was originally here was the 3D printer in this little zone here. So hold on, so the sound's going to get a bit weird now, and I'm just going to take you off of there. Yeah, so basically originally here was a big desk that had my 3D printer on it, and I moved that desk into another room, back into a corner, so it's nice and tucked away. And then I took some old cube style things that we had and basically popped all my old consoles in it. So you'll see here I've turned some IKEA, sorry, these are these are from B&Q, the cube things, but the glass shelves and the glass doors are from the IKEA Calyx range, which I've sort of jimmied and jury-rigged into these lovely glass doors that sit on the front. And then as I play each console, I can sort of pull it out, put it on the desk up top, so it's got a nice bit of ventilation. And then, yeah, so these are some of my old consoles. Unfortunately, the PS2 Slim up there is broken, so I'm going to have to dig that one out and have a little look. Xbox 360, which I think is still working, but I've got to go into its innards and start redoing things. So another part of this whole rabbit hole has been seeing that some consoles, with their age, you need to go back in and do a bit of maintenance, like replacing thermal paste and thermal pads and stuff. So I'm looking forward to digging into that Xbox 360 and giving that a good clean. This is a Wii U that I picked up a few weeks ago, really cheap, and it came with a bunch of games, which is fantastic. Mostly because I wanted to play Wind Waker HD. So yeah, that's the Zelda games again. Picked these two up second hand as well, so these were pretty cheap as well. I think they're like 20-30 quid or something, and these play all these lovely old games, including Zelda games, woo! But loads of the classics that I never got to play, like Mario, Castlevania, Donkey Kong Country, so really looking forward to digging into that library of games. And then I've got a few portables in there that I've collected over the years. You can see this case here has had a bit of a battering. So, yep, and there's my old Wii U, sorry, my old Wii, just a standard Wii. So this thing was an absolute godsend back when we got it. We played so many games on it. It was fantastic. But not just that, we've also gotten all my stuff, all my nerdy stuff I've collected over like 20 odd years. And I bought these, they're not Calyx, what are they called? Oh, I can't remember. They're an IKEA thing, but they come with a nice glass door on the front, and all my nerdy things have gone into them. So now we've got these dragons that we've had, loads of these Gundam figures that I made years and years ago, my cool little piranha plant, some Lego, a few more minis. Those are some bits and pieces that folks have given me over the years because they know I'm a geek, including my favourite ever Overwatch character, Jugred. And then down here, a few more Gundams, although the bear is pretty scary, needs his eyes putting on. And then a few more Gundams down here, and then one of my pride and joys, Lego Optimus, which I picked up cheap. Again, you might be noticing a theme. I like to pick up things second hand and cheap if I can. I thought I'd picked him up super cheap. Turned out he was going to drop in price quite quickly because apparently they made way too many of them. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of my little tour. So I'm just going to flip the camera around real quick to finish up. Woo, bit close. There we go. Right, cool. Right, so that's the end of September's vlog. Hope you enjoyed that one as well. It's probably me that's going to be watching it in 10 years' time anyway, so... Or next year? I don't know. We'll go through a few more of the bits and pieces. Hopefully I'll have some gameplay of things I've been doing. I would say what games I've been playing, but I've basically been playing Tears of the Kingdom. That's it. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Right, thanks very much, folks, and have a good one.